Hello, children. So, in today's topic, let us discuss about pressure exerted by liquids and gases. Okay. So far we have learned till pressure. Okay. And lastly, the thing that we learned is unit of pressure. So, based upon this is the unit of pressure. Based upon this, let us discuss little more about pressure. So, in the about facts of daily lives. Okay, in our daily lives, what we do based upon the pressure. So, we take school bags, isn't it? So, we take school bags. While carrying the school bags, what happens? The widest strap takes the area, isn't it, children? Area will be taken at the wider range, wider piece. You can take it as the which way you keep it on your shoulders. Okay. So more the area, less will be the pressure exerted, as we already know. So the example is school bag. So it is recommended to take wider range of bags. So which exerts less pressure. So similarly, let us take one of the examples of dam. Okay, dams have wide base, isn't it, children? So say for example, I can draw for you children here. Okay, just to explain, I'll write it here. So this is, if this is the dam, okay, here this backwater will be there where contains water. So this will be the dam. So what happens? Pressure is inversely proportional to area, isn't it, children? Pressure is inversely proportional to area. This is the simple that we write. And we know that more the area, less the pressure exerted. So what happens here? More the area will be there. So when we pass out the, when we take off the dam gates, when we lift the dam gates, what happens? Pressure exerted will be less and it water comes down. So here the area will be there. So it is mandatory and it has been practiced that wider range of dams na ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ದೊಡ್ಡ ಡ್ಯಾಮ್ಸ್ನ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಷ್ಟು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮೋರ್ ದಿ ಏರಿಯಾ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ದೇರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಟೆಡ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲೆಸ್. So this is the reason dams are constructed wide. Got it? Yes. Now we'll move on to the our topic of today's, that is pressure exerted by liquids and gases. So before starting about this, let us study about fluids. Okay, children. So fluids means, we know that fluids are those that can flow. We call those as fluids, isn't it? Fluids are those that can flow. Anything that can flow, we call it as fluids. So we'll just take an examples for this. We'll have three types, that is solid, liquid and gases, isn't it, children? So we have three types here. So we know that solids are tightly packed. So solid means it is tightly packed, where it cannot flow. Solids cannot flow. In exceptional cases of like mercury, it flows. Those are exceptional cases, but here we are talking about the main region of solid. So it is tightly packed. Whereas when it comes to liquid, it will be little far away. Okay, it will be little far away where they can flow, where these liquids can flow. And when we come to gases are too far away. ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಒಂದು ದೂರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So they are so far away. So liquid and gases are the two which can flow. These two can flow. Okay, children. So fluids are those that can flow. Here we have taken as liquid and gases which can flow. So now let us study the examples of fluids. The examples of fluids, that is nothing but liquid and gases. So examples of fluids is liquid and gases, because these are the two which can flow. So now let us study about fluid pressure. Okay, so we got to know that fluid means fluids are those that can flow. So fluid pressure andrenu, we need to study about this, isn't it? So fluid pressure is defined as pressure exerted by fluids. Okay, pressure exerted by fluids, whereas fluids also exert certain pressure. Howda alva? Fluids exert some pressure, that we call it as fluid pressure. So we can take this as fluids means nothing but liquid and gases. So liquid and gases we call it as fluids, and they too exert pressure. Pressure is nothing but force by area. Got it, children? Fluid pressure means fluids exert some pressure. Okay, so that we call it as fluid pressure. So in order to study, we'll take examples like, we'll take air here and we'll take water here. Okay, air and water here. Air is nothing but gas. Okay, we take gas as air. So for example, the air which will be moving, it will be in the form of gas, or else even the other form of gas you can take it as gas which exerts in our daily home lives. LPG, ಅದು gas ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅದು ಏನು ಕಾಣಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ it will be moving. So it is in form of air. ಬೇರೆ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Here we are taken it as air. And water is nothing but liquid. So water is nothing but liquid. So air as well as water, these both produces or exerts pressure. Both exerts pressure. Got it, children? When these both exerts pressure, what we call those as? We call those as fluid pressure. Okay, we call those as fluid pressure. So in order to study this, we have some properties for liquid pressure or fluid pressures. Okay, we can call it as fluid pressures. The properties of fluid pressures are these. Pressure increases with increase in depth. Okay, the very first point is pressure increases with increase in depth. And the second one is pressure decreases with height. Pressure decreases with height as well. So pressure applied at any point is equally transmitted in all directions. This is the third property of fluid pressure. Now let us study in detail of these. Okay, children. So now let us study in detail of this. Pressure increases with increase in depth. So for example, let us take a container, okay, where it contains liquid. Pressure contains liquid. So for example, here on the surface, let's take it as A, and at the bottom we'll take it as A plus. Okay, we'll take it as A plus. Where will be the pressure high? Where will be the pressure high? Obviously at the depth. Okay, obviously the pressure will be at depth. So A plus will be containing more pressure. So pressure ನಮಗೆ ಮೇಲ್ಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಸೊ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, obviously the depth part, ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ ಆ part ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ pressure will be high. Okay, pressure increases with increase in depth. So for example, we'll take it as container. We'll take one container, okay, which is tightly packed. So here we'll take it as A, and here we'll take it as A plus. So container containing gas. Okay, so same as here. Here also it increases with increase in depth. As ನಮಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ pressure ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂಗೆ depth ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ we get the pressure. Okay, we have to be clear that pressure will be more at the depth. ನಮಗೆ ಇದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಬೇಕು that pressure will be more at depth. Got it, children? Pressure will be more at depth. So pressure increases with increase in depth is the property of fluid pressure. Okay, this explains the property of one. So now let us take the second property. Okay, the second property, that is pressure decreases with height. What happens when it decreases with height? So we'll take this as a surface. Okay, this is the surface, and let we take this as mountain. Okay, this as a mountain. So what happens here? Pressure decreases with height. Okay, pressure decreases with height. So we'll take it as when we start climbing, the hill, okay, when we start climbing the hill, pressure will be decreasing. So here we can take it as A here at the point A. This is at the surface, and A plus at the top. Okay, and A plus at the top. Pressure of air in the atmosphere. We'll take this as atmosphere because height alliradinda we'll take it as pressure of air in atmosphere. Okay, this is in atmosphere. So this will be the height. This will be the height of mountain. Okay, pressure will be more at land surface. So depth alli namige jaasti sigute. It is the second property that pressure decreases with height. So obviously the land part, what will be there? No, this contains high pressure. This will have the high pressure. Land contains high pressure. Got it, children? This is the second property. So ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ while climbing, mountain climbers ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, so at the peaks of Everest mountain, ಈ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಕ್ಲೈಂಬ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವಾಟ್ ಕ್ಲೈಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಡೂ ಇಸ್ ದೇ ಟೇಕ್ ಓವರ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ಸ್. ದೇ ಟೇಕ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ಸ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ದೇ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲೈಂಬಿಂಗ್ ದ ಹಿಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ಸ್. Why? Because oxygen will be less at the top of the hills. ನಾವು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಹತ್ತುತ್ತಾ ಹೋದಂಗೆ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಟ್ಮಾಸ್ಫಿಯರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ವೈಲ್ ಕ್ಲೈಂಬಿಂಗ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಅಟ್ ದ ಟಾಪ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲೆಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇವಾಗ ನಾವೇನು ಸರ್ಫೇಸ್ ಲೆವೆಲಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಇವಾಗ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ಏರ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲೈಂಬಿಂಗ್ ಮೌಂಟೇನ್ಸ್ ರೇಂಜಸ್, so what happens, oxygen level kadme irutte because due to the atmospheric pressure alli kadme irutte. So due to this, climbers what they take, they carry oxygen bags. So this causes what, ivrige ಏನು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಅಂದರೆ ರೆಸ್ಪಿರೇಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಉಸಿರಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ at when they go at the top of the hill. So this is the example to show that pressure decreases with height. Got it, children? Pressure will be high at the bottom of the surface. So this is to prove the property of fluid of pressure by the second point. So now let us study about the third one, that is pressure applied at any point is equally transmitted in all direction. So it is equally transmitted in all direction. To prove that, let us take a ರೌಂಡ್ ಬಾಟಮ್ ಫ್ಲಾಸ್ಕ್. ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ರೌಂಡ್ ಬಾಟಮ್ ಫ್ಲಾಸ್ಕ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ apparatus used in chemical laboratories or chemistry laboratories. Okay, so piston will be here. This is a piston. So piston na mouth of the round bottom flask inda insert ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, will be inserted with the round bottom flask with the help of piston. This is the piston. ಹೀಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು structurally. In the structure form, it will be like this. So what happens when we press this piston from top to little bit downwards? Okay, so what happens? It can be moved in either upwards or downwards. ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಹಿಂಗೆ upward or downward ಹೆಂಗೆ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. Okay, what happens when we press downwards? Pressure exerts. When we press downwards, what happens? Pressure exerts. Okay, pressure full irutte. On all the directions pressure will be there. So in this direction, everywhere, in all direction pressure will be exerted. So it is to be sure that pressure applied at any point is equally transmitted in all direction. You can see here pressure is exerted here and it is equally transmitted. It is equally transmitted in all direction. ಎಲ್ಲ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇಂದನೂ ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಹೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಟ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಎವ್ರಿವೇರ್. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಈಕ್ವಲಿ ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಮಿಟೆಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ದ piston downwards. So I hope children you got with an idea of the property of ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಹೇಗೆ ಅದು ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. Is it okay? Yes. Now let us move on to a question based. ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಇವಾಗ ಡೌಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ದೆನ್ ಇಫ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಲೆಸ್ ಅಟ್ ದ ಟಾಪ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ how then why do sea divers use their special suits? So this is the example. Why deep sea divers wear special suits while diving? ಸೊ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಸಿ ಡೈವರ್ಸು ನೀವು ನೋಡಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಅವರು ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ನ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಕ್ಯಾರಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಸ್ಯೂಟ್ಸ್ನ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಈ ಥರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಲ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ. isn't it children? It is because liquid pressure, it is the liquid pressure. Okay, this is the liquid pressure because they will be under sea. So it is the liquid pressure increases with depth. Liquid pressure increases with depth. Pressure is high at the bottom. Okay, pressure will be high at the bottom. Therefore, so ಯಾವಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರು ಹೈ at the bottom ಇರುತ್ತೆ, therefore they deep sea divers have wear special suits. They carry special dresses and they carry even oxygen also to protect themselves from high pressure. Otherwise it may crush their bodies. ಏನಾಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ, ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಉಸಿರು ಕಡ್ದಂಗೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So what they carry oxygen levels. So liquid pressure increases with depth as well. Got it children? This is the question to be learnt and don't get confused with this. Now let us move on to the activity. Okay, I want you children to do this activity which will be carrying 5 marks for the activity. I want you children to do this activity. So the activity to show that pressure increases with depth. Okay, let us take an activity. So when you take this activity, I want you children to take a container like this. Okay, take a container like this. Make some 3 holes here. Make one hole here. Make one hole here. Make one other hole here. Make 3 holes. Okay, you make 3 holes. Got it children? So with the help of screwdrivers or anything, pins or anything which is comfortable for you, make 3 holes like this. Okay, make 3 holes. Container nimge enara siglilla andre you can make use of bottles. Water bottles iruttala straight ಆಗಿರೋದು, you can take those water bottles and you can do this activity. Make 3 holes. Okay, make 3 holes. So when you just what you need to do is open this. Okay, you first at the initial point what you need to do is close with the using of your fingers, close all the 3 like this. Okay, close these holes which is made by you people and start watering inside. So under the tap water you start inserting the water. So make sure that you need to close these all the 3 holes at the beginning. So starting ನೀವು ವಾಟರ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟಾಗ until it fills to this mark. So third point ಏನಿದೆ ಅದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ವಾಟರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಹೈ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ತನಕ ಇರೋ ತನಕ ನೀವು all the 3 ಹೋಲ್ಸ್ನ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರಿ. ಓಕೆ, so it is said to be that take a plastic container. Yes, we have taken. Make 3 holes at different heights. Yes, we'll make it. So put the container under a tap. So this is the container. Make 3 holes. We have done it here. So close it at initial. First close ಮಾಡಿ water ತುಂಬಿಸಿ. Okay, fill this water with container with the help of tap water. Okay, once you feel this it is filled with water, then you release. Then you take off your hand. Okay, you can see observe the force with which water flows through the you can observe the force with which water flows at through holes. Okay, so ಯಾವ ಹೋಲಿಂದ ನಿಮಗೆ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ವಾಟರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್. ಓಕೆ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್, ಸೊ ಆಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಟ್ಯಾಪ್ ವಾಟರಿಂದ ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಯು ಲೀವ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಾಟರ್ ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ಲಿ, ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಲೀವ್ ದ ಟ್ಯಾಪ್ ವಾಟರ್. ಸೊ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಲೀವ್, ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಯು ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ ಟು ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವ್ ಯಾವ ಹೋಲಿಂದ with these 3 holes, in which hole the pressure will be high. Okay, so this is the activity to show that pressure increases with depth. So it is observed water flows with great pressure from lost hole inda nimge jaasti pressure exert agutte annodu gottagutte. Okay, this shows that pressure increases with depth. So similarly, how gas pressure can be measured? So either liquid pressure ka aitu. Water is nothing but liquid pressure. So how to measure the gas? So even we do have some instrument for this. Which is that instrument? How gas pressure can be measured is our questions. So by the instrument called manometer. This is very important, children, and this will be asked for 1 marks. Okay, which is the instrument used to measure gas anta kelbodu, which is very important and will be asked for 1 marks. It is the manometer, we call it as manometer. Okay, so the manometer, it will be consisting of U shape. This will be containing U shaped glass tube containing mercury irutte illi. Okay, the shaded part which we have is mercury. So the level of mercury is initially same. So ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ what ನಾವು initial pointing ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, at the initial points it will be same. The level of mercury is initially same in both arms. We call this as one arm and we call this as another arm. Okay, to measure gas pressure, it is one side is connected to gas supply. So ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ನಾವು gas ನ supply ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. Okay, from this we will be supplying gas. So the gas present exerts pressure. So adu gas kuda exerts some pressure, isn't it? So when it exerts pressure, therefore the mercury level moves down in one limb. One kade enagutte adu kelgade hogutte mercury level, innond kade adu high agutte, rises in another limb. It goes down with one limb and rises with another limb. So the difference in level ಏನು ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಮರ್ಕ್ಯೂರಿ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಗ್ಲಾಸ್ ಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಹಾಕಿದಾಗ ಶೇಡೆಡ್ ಪ್ಯಾಡ್ ಥರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. So the difference we can get it. This one goes down at one limb and the another limb it goes high. So we do have some difference from one limb to another limb, isn't it? So with these limbs we can find out the difference determines this pressure. ಇದೇನು ನಮಗೆ ಲಿಂಬ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತಲ್ಲ difference, that is exerted by pressure. This is the exerted pressure by gas. Got it, children? I hope you got an idea about pressure exerted by liquid and gases. So I hope this is the activity to be done from you, children. In very easy method I have explained to be done like this. Okay, either you can do it like this also, no issues. So take a plastic bottle, you can take a discarded water or soft drink water, you can take normal water, fix a cylindrical glass tube. So cylindrical glass tube illa andre you can make it a holes. Okay, no issues. A few centimeter long near to the bottom. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸಿರೋ ಥರ as shown is 11.15. You can do by slightly heating one end of the glass tube and then quickly insert or near to the bottom of the another. Got it, children? Make sure that the water does not leak. So water ಏನಾಗಬೇಕು, ನೀವು ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಲೀಕ್ ಆಗದೆ ಇರೋ ಥರ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಬೇಕು at initial point, not to leak from the joints. If there is any leakage, seal it with molten wax. So candle ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಆ candle ಇಂದ you can molten it. Cover the mouth of the gas tube with a thin rubber sheet as you did in the figure activity 11.8. So previously ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ, but you can go through. This is the activity. Okay, so now fill the bottle up to with half with the water. What do you observe? What does the rubber sheet fixed to the glass tube bulge this time? Okay, you need to observe this, children. So ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಆದಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಲೂನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಏನು ನಾವು ಕಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, it will be start increasing in its shape. So ದಪ್ಪ ಆಗಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ when pressure is exerted. So pour some water in the bottle. If there is any change in the bulge of the rubber sheet, ಏನಾದ್ರು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಬೇಕು. Obviously it changes its shape. So ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಆದಾಗ, so it changes its shape to bigger size. So you need to note it down with the differences. Got it, children? And here is one other example, as we have told about the pressure increases with depth. So there is one other activity, that is take an empty plastic bottle or a cylindrical container. You can make use of tin car or anything. You can use like containers like this or plastic bottles. Okay, drill 4 holes all around near the bottom of the bottle. So ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಥರ ಬಾಟಮಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರು ಹೋಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಮೇಕ್ ಶೋರ್ ದಟ್ ದ ಹೋಲ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಹೈಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಬಾಟಮ್. ಎಲ್ಲದು ಈಕ್ವಲಿಂದ ಹೈಟಿಂದ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಆಸ್ ಶೋನ್ ಇನ್ ಫಿಗರ್ 11.16. Now fill the bottle with water. What do you observe? Do the different streams of the water coming out of the holes fall at same distance? ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಒಂದೇ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬರುತ್ತಾ ನೀರು ಅಂತ ನೋಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಡಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟ್? ಸೊ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಟೆಲ್ ಮೀ ಏನದು ಇಂಡಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಆಟ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಡೆಪ್ತ್. ಸೊ ನಾವು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದನ್ನು ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೊಂಡಾಗ, ಓಕೆ, when you see here in this I have told you about to make 3 holes. ಯಾವುದು ಡೆಪ್ತ್ ನೋಡೋಕ್ಕೆ, ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಆಫ್ ಡೆಪ್ತ್. ಬಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿ 11.10 they are asking us to make holes with same distance. say for example ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಒಂದು 3 ಸೆಂಟಿಮೀಟರ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಹೈಟಿಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಇನ್ 4 equal parts we need to mark 4 holes. So we need to pour water as usual from the tap. Close ಮಾಡಿ initial point ತನಕ ಅದು fill ಆಗೋ ತನಕ. Then you release with your hand. You need to see ಎಲ್ಲ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲೂ ಒಂದೇ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಆಬ್ವಿಯಸ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್. ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಅಟ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಎಕ್ಸರ್ಟೆಡ್. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಟು ಶೋ liquids exert equal pressure at same depth anta. This is the activity I told you children to see pressure increases with depth anta. Got it children? I hope you have understood with pressure exerted by liquids and gases. So we are left out with the one last topic, that is atmospheric pressure. We'll continue with that in next class. Thank you.